In this section we'll look at compound interest, where the vast majority of the questions you see will be based on people's savings and the interest rates that they receive from their bank, and therefore the amount of money the bank pays them for saving. There are a couple of notes here we need to be aware of. First note here is per annum, or the abbreviation PA, means per year. And then the second note, in the two questions that are coming up, okay, look for the difference between the questions which ask for the amount in the account and questions asking for the amount of interest earned. These are two different things, and we'll look at that in the next two examples. In the first example, we have John who invests $9,500 in a bank account paying 3.2% per annum. How much will be in the account after 3 years? So the amount in his account is going to start at $9,500 and it's going to increase by 3.2% every year for 3 years. So first of all, we need to remind ourselves, how do we increase something by 3.2%? So remember, we're starting off with 100% and we're adding on 3.2%, which is going to be 103.2%. And as a multiplier, to find that, we're going to simply divide that 103.2 by 100, and it's going to be 1.032. This is what I need to multiply by in order to increase something by 3.2%. So we're going to start by writing out our 9,500, and we're going to multiply it by 1.032. Now, as it stands here, this would only increase it by 3.2% once. But this question is asking how much will be in the account after 3 years. So if I just type this into my calculator, then it would give me what would be in the account after 1 year. I would then need to multiply it by 1.032 again for 2 years, and then multiply by 1.032 again for 3 years. So the quick way to do that is simply to do the multiplication by 1.032 3 times, and shorthand for that would be just to cube it. Type that into our calculator and we get £10,441, and if I round that to 2 decimal places because it's money, that's going to come to 50 pence as well. And it's that straightforward. Basically, looking at this part, we start off with 9,500. This is my starting point. I'm going to increase it by 3.2%, so work out the multiplier for increasing something by 3.2%, and I'm going to be doing that 3 years in a row. So times 1.032 times 1.032 times 1.032, or simply times 1.032 cubed. Type it all into our calculator and that's us done. Now, before we go on to the next example, we're going to go back up to this note here. So it says in the two questions, look for the difference between questions asking for the amount in the account and questions asking for the amount of interest earned. So this question was saying how much will be in the account. Now that's what you would expect. You're expecting this 9,500 to grow, and therefore a number bigger than 9,500. But let's have a look at the next example. In this example, you're asked to take £4,300 in a bank account, which pays 4.2% per annum, and this question asks for the amount of interest earned over 4 years. In other words, not the amount of money in the bank account, but the amount of extra money in the bank account. In other words, how much has the bank paid in interest? So we're going to start off in the same way. We're going to first of all say, well, we're going to increase something by 4.2%. So if we're starting off with 100% and we're adding on 4.2%, then we've now got 104.2%. Now to find 104.2%, I'm going to use the multiplier. And remember, we're just taking that 104.2 and dividing it by 100, so 1.042. This is how I quickly find 104.2% of something, by multiplying by this multiplier. So let's take our £4,300, which we're starting off with in the account, and multiply it by 1.042. Remember, this is how we find the interest earned after 1 year. But in this question here, we're looking for the interest earned over 4 years. So I'm going to need to use this multiplier 4 times. So I could write times 1.042, times 1.042, times 1.042, times 1.042. But the quicker way to do that is simply times 1.042 to the power of 4. Okay, so typing this into our calculator quickly, we end up with £5,069, and rounded to the nearest penny, we have 20 pence there. Now, where this differs from the previous questions, the last question was asking how much is in the account, whereas this question is saying how much interest has been earned over 4 years. Now, if you only invest £4,300 for 4 years, the bank doesn't give you an extra £5,069. This is the amount that's in the account now. This is the amount that was in the account before, so the interest earned is the difference between these two numbers. So the interest earned is equal to £5,069.20, take away 4,300, which comes to £769.20.